closer to Christmas, and Brandon and I were headed back from Georgia, driving to South Dakota to see his family. I was pregnant and grumpy and not excited to be in the car, and we woke up, the hotel didn't have breakfast, and I was super needed some food. All I could think about was eating. This mama needed some nourishment, stat. So we hit I-70, leave Columbia, Missouri. En route, we see that blessed subway sign. We exit off the interstate. Right at the top of that intersection, there are two people in the December cold, huddled up with their jackets, just with a sign that says, "We appreciate any help." Well, I was too focused on food. I wasn't thinking about anything except feeding myself. But Brandon turned to me and said, "Hey, can we buy them breakfast?" How do you say no to that? So if we were already going to Subway, why not? Money's money, who cares? And you don't even have to have money. So we went to Subway, and for all four of us, we bought breakfast, probably about $30. We left Subway, came back to that intersection, whipped a Huey, which probably wasn't very safe, but we whipped a Huey, pulled over, handed 2 Subway bags out the window, and said, "God bless, have a great day." Drove away. Never saw them again. But it blessed us the rest of the trip. Later that night, we were driving to see his grandparents in South Dakota, and it had snowed that day, and he was driving, and I saw something blow across the road. And I was like, "Stop the car, Barn. What was that? That looked like money." He whipped the car over. He may or may not have put it up on the sidewalk. I'm not going to say anything about his driving skills. I jumped out of the car as fast as I could jump as a 6-month pregnant lady. Okay, I waddled over and bent over very gracefully, picked it up. $30 right there. We were paid back more than what we would have just buying breakfast for ourselves that morning. If you have any question in your mind about how you can change people and how it can bless you by serving often, and the idea that one is enough, I really want you to think twice about that. People just want to know that you care. Put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if someone came up and said, "Hey, I want to help pay for your groceries, or fill up your car with gas, or buy you breakfast. I don't know you. I don't need to know you." It's awesome when someone cares about you, even if it's a stranger. So important to understand, nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. Let me say that again. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. How awesome is that? We're equipped with special gifts and talents that we can give to other people that doesn't cost a dime. And I really want to encourage you to think about how you can serve often, maybe even once a day, in the mundane. It doesn't have to be an organized event of the monumental proportions. Those are extremely important. As the wife of a soldier, I totally appreciate when we have support during the holidays. I've been deployed. I have the tear-stained journal to prove it. I get it. And those times are really important. But I also have those precious moments, those precious memories for someone that held the door open for me as I was coming in and carrying a whole bunch of junk for this presentation. Or for a person that said, "Hey, yo, I don't know you, but I'd love to buy your cup of coffee. Have an awesome day." It's incredible. I would love to challenge you this morning to take a few moments and think about how for the next 21 days you can do a small act of kindness every single day. Whether it's opening a door or asking the cashier genuinely, "How's your day?" Consider using their first name. It'll blow their socks off because they have the name tags. So just say, "How's your day, Sarah?" I guarantee you they're going to go from in their little zone to engaged and paying attention. Take a few moments to think about how for the next 21 days, because if you do something 21 days, it becomes a habit, and then you're not even going to think about it anymore. What you're going to do to serve often. Take a moment to think about that. Turn to a neighbor and share. Go.
This thing's...
again, I myself am guilty sometimes of just going through my daily routine, kind of like a drone or a zombie, just get up, get dressed, take care of the baby, log into Facebook, blah, and the next thing I know, it's time to go to bed. What did I accomplish? Not a lot. But if we live intentionally, looking for those opportunities to serve, your day is going to be a lot different. Because let's be honest, sometimes those opportunities aren't necessarily going to fall into our lap. Or they might, and we miss them. And that's really challenging when that happens. So we really have to have our eyes open and consider that perspective. There's a old to you country song that I listened to growing up by Clay Walker, and it's called The Chain of Love. It's one of my faves. And it starts out talking about an older lady that from Mercedes-Benz broke down on the side of the road, has a flat tire. And nobody stops to help her change the tire. The music video, it's raining, it's all gross, everybody just keeps driving on by, but she really needs some help. So finally, this guy named Joe pulls over to the side of the road, gets out, and helps her. Changes her tire with nothing in return. She says, "Hey Joe, what do I owe you?" And then it goes to the chorus. It goes a little something like this. "You don't owe me a thing, I've been there too. Someone who once helped me out, just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, well here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you." I love that little sneak attack thing at the end, the little lesson that they throw in there. So the lady's like, "Wow, that's awesome. I don't have to pay him anything. He helped me with my tire." She drives away, goes to this little diner. There is a waitress there who is exhausted, working a double shift, 8 months pregnant, just trying to make ends meet. And this older lady, she leaves a $100 tip with a little note wrote on a napkin with the words from that chorus. And so later that night, the waitress finally gets off her double shift. She goes home, crawls into bed, absolutely exhausted, leans over, kisses her husband, and says, "Good night. I love you, Joe." Yeah, it's adorable, but it's also really cool because it comes back around. He blessed that lady blessed his wife, and it blessed their family. Those things really do happen, not just in country music songs. I've been on the receiving end of that. And it's only because we live intentionally, looking for opportunities to serve. We can't just go through our days in a zone, all cloudy, not thinking about anything. But when you serve intentionally, we also sometimes have to get creative. Now, I like Facebook. We use Facebook a lot in our ministry because it's an online ministry. There's kind of some shady stuff on Facebook sometimes. You're like, really? Really you had to post that? But there's also, every now and then, some really cool stories that surface about people that have served creatively or just served because of their nature, and then they go viral. One of those stories I saw recently was a Dairy Queen employee named Joey in Hopkins, Minnesota. You might have saw this, maybe not. But he was working his daily job, serving in the mundane at Dairy Queen. But he decided to live intentionally. He was serving a blind man. The blind man opened his wallet to pay, and a $20 bill fell out of his wallet. Well, the lady behind the blind man in line picked up that $20 and put it in her wallet. And so Joey saw what happened. Of course, the blind gentleman doesn't know what's going on. Joey comes out from behind the counter, takes the woman aside and says, "Hey, I saw that fall out of his wallet. Can you please give that back?" She said no, it was hers. So he asked her to please leave the store. She left Dairy Queen. He turned around, took out his wallet, pulled out $20 and said, "Hey, sir, you dropped this on the ground." Simple act of service, living intentionally, to treat other people fairly, with love and kindness. Well, his manager heard what happened, wrote a letter to corporate wrote it online, and it has had millions and millions of hits. Huge story. We can do that same thing, and we don't need the publicity to do it. Sometimes the best acts of kindness when we serve intentionally are ones that no one will ever know about. Those are the ones that bless us so incredibly deeply. Another story that's similar happened with Alyssa Josephine O'Neill, an 18-year-old girl from Pennsylvania. One night she told her mom, right before the pumpkin spice lattes came out at Starbucks, because it was getting ready to be pumpkin spice latte season the next morning, they were coming back. She says, "Mom, we have to go get one. Can we have a Starbucks date in the morning?" Her mom's like, "Oh yeah, definitely." But that night, Alyssa had an epileptic seizure and passed away. And so she wasn't able to have that coffee date with her mom. Of course, the family was mourning. It was very sorrowful. But after the funeral, they wanted to celebrate Alyssa's life. Kind of brainstormed a little bit, and they were like, "Let's get her that pumpkin spice latte." So they went to Starbucks and bought 40 pumpkin spice lattes for the next however many people that came through Starbucks. Starbucks heard what they were doing and matched it and upped it. They gave away 50 free pumpkin spice lattes to all the individuals that came in the store. The only thing the family wanted was on the cup, instead of writing the person's name, they wanted them to write #AJO in memory of Alyssa Josephine O'Neill, because she had such a giving heart, and that's how she lived her life. Well, again, the power of social media, it has exploded. I was doing some research. There's pictures of people holding coffee cups, whether it's Starbucks or otherwise, because the idea is they buy a drink for themselves and buy another one for the person behind them, or in the drive-thru, or for the next person that walks in the door. They just buy one single drink, probably less than $5. There are pictures from all around the world. People holding Starbucks cups or coffee cups that says #AJO in Alaska, South Korea, and even with a group of soldiers in Afghanistan. Wouldn't it be awesome? Oh, so awesome that if our life ended today, people would remember us like that. Simply because we decided to serve intentionally, often as we went throughout the day. Martin Luther King Jr. said this: "Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love." You don't need anything. You don't need money. You just need to have the heart to serve intentionally. So again, take just a couple moments to think about serving intentionally for you. What would that look like? What would you have to change in your life at this very moment as you walk out of this auditorium and head back to your respective schools? What in your heart or your mind or your physical going throughout the day, what are you going to have to change? Are you going to have to be more aware? Are you going to have to reach out a little bit more? Are you going to have to get out of your comfort zone? Do you have an idea to be creative? The possibilities are endless. Take a moment, think about how you are going to serve intentionally, share it with a different neighbor, and meet me back here in 1 minute. Go.